Hi friends, welcome back to
Wish You Love Podcast.
I'm Jazmine.
And I'm Marilyn.
And thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you haven't already, make sure you've checked last week's episode and this whole month.
Yes.
Actually, all episodes. But we've been having some really good episodes and reflection questions that really have made us think.
And I want to say that the next following episode next week is going to be our last episode for the season. So season 1 is coming to an end and we're ending with a collaboration episode. So we have our first guest on the show. So stay tuned for next week for our finale for season 1. So this will be our last kind of official, like just me and Jazmine for season 1. So I hope you enjoy it and stay tuned for season 2.
Yes, we're so excited. If you guys happen to have any ideas or maybe things you want to share, feedback, we always would appreciate and we'll take it.
Take any ideas.
Feel free to DM us or you can put it in the anonymous form too if you want to keep it anonymous. But yeah, we're wrapping up and getting ready for season 2.
Yay. Okay, so our opener question, Jasmine's going to ask it, but it's on the theme of summer since we're in the heat of it.
Yes. So with summer, we want to know, what is your go-to summer treat at the moment? Like, what is the one thing that you like with this heat? And what is it? What is your summer treat? Marilyn, you want to go first?
It is ice cream. So there's quite a few ice creams that I like. There is this place in it's not a city next to mine, so it's kind of far, so I'll tell it. But it is called Honey Me. That one is my favorite. I get the caramel darling. I think it's called Dear Caramel, I believe. It's pretty much like just a plain, it's not vanilla. It's like a milk white ice cream with caramel and sea salt on top. Or I get pistachio ice cream. Or the other day when I was at the beach, I got chocolate ice cream. So definitely ice cream is my go-to. Also, any vegan ice cream is even better. And I also, sorry, so many things about ice cream, but if you're doing the calorie deficit and you want some yummy ice cream, Yasso, the brand Yasso, Target sells it, has really good low-calorie ice cream. So I get the fudge one and that's only 80 calories and it's so delicious. So they have different flavors even for Jazmine because she doesn't like chocolate, but that fudge one is the lowest calories. I think the other ones are all 100, but that one's 80. You can't beat it. But yeah, super good. What is it called? The Oreos, chocolate and cream, or cookies and cream, I should say. It's also really good, but yeah, ice cream would be my answer. What about you?
Ice cream. For me, I would say I've been really into lychee green teas.
Ooh,
I don't know if it's just I'm just now experimenting more with that type of fruit or it's in right now, but I've been really drinking that. If I'm craving something cold and sweet, I usually go for an iced tea. And then if it's lychee, even better because I just love the taste of it. I don't know if you've ever had lychee.
No.
It's like the red, hairy fruit. It looks like a little bug. I don't know what it looks like. It's kind of funny, but
I bet it's bomb.
When you crack it open, it's like this white brown color, and you just eat the fruit.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's so good. I definitely recommend it, and I've been trying it any tea shop. Instead of getting boba or something, I just get lychee tea, or if I go to 85 degrees. I get the lychee. So yeah, that's been my thing. I think it's so refreshing. And if we're going on low calorie, it's pretty low calorie because you're just drinking tea with flavor. Sweetener or syrup. So yeah, that's been my go-to.
Okay. And an honorable mention, I have to say, agua frescas. Always hit. That's why I didn't say summer because I drink that all the time. Same with Jamba Juice all the time. So, but I was just thinking when you said drink, I'm like, oh, that sounds so good right now. But I think anything sounds good right now because we're low-key hungry. But yeah. So comment down below your favorite summer treat. And if it's the same as us, please still let us know because we love to know what flavor you like of ice cream or if you've had lychee, how could you describe it? I've never had it before. Maybe I have to try it sometime. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's jump into today's question. Marilyn's going to read it off for us. So make sure you pull out your reflection caps on and journaling prompts or whatever, however you do it. Yeah. But let's get to it.
Yeah. I like that you said the caps because sometimes people just want to think about it. They don't want to write. You know what I mean? But writing is so beneficial, I will say. Okay. So does the media that you consume have representation of people who look like you or are in a similar position to you? How do you think that impacts your outlook on life? So Jazmine will answer first.
We live in a world where social media has a huge impact on all of our lives. I would like to say that at least 90% of my circle like has social media, whether that's old school like Facebook and they're still on Facebook, or younger generations who are now using like what is that? Threads.
Be real.
Threads, Be Real. I think my cousin was telling me the other day about Lemon 8? I don't know. Wow. Right? Or maybe you're like me where I just stick to Instagram and TikTok and like keep it at that. But point is, regardless of your age, this generation, like where we live and where we stand today in the world, like social media is just a heavy influence and part of our lives. And like I said, at least in my circle, I would say 90% of my circle like is impacted and has social media. The 10% would be like my grandma who doesn't care, and like my mom who refuses to like download anything because she's a trooper. She's just like, no one needs to know my life. No one needs to know what I eat every day or how many times I go to the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, do you, girl? Like, good for you. But with that, as we consume this media, we have to stop and think and reflect. In what way is it consuming me? And who am I even like following and giving those likes and that attention to, right? Our time is so valuable, and like who we surround ourselves with and the things that we think about is so important. And I think it's time to kind of take a deeper look as to like who are these so-called influencers that we are supporting, that we are following, that we are listening to, and in what way do they like shape or like play a part in our lives? And so for me, looking at the media that I consume and the influencers that I follow, do they look like me? No. A lot of the influencers that I follow are like, model perfection, Instagram, like gorgeous girls. However, I will say that although they don't necessarily look like me, I do think that they bring inspiration to me. And that's in a sense like one of the influencers that I follow that I really love is Amanda Diaz. She is a makeup / influencer person. And although she got famous because of her beauty and because of her makeup, I do love seeing like what she also brings to the table in terms of like outlook in life and like her sense of reflection of things that happen to her or how she handles certain things, how she portrays herself on social media. And so I think that me like following someone like her and like just in general, like who we follow on social media is so important because sometimes we are just giving the attention to the wrong people or consuming things that are either like damaging to our own mental health or how we view ourselves, or the things that we learn from them and like bring to our lives. But I'm just using her as like a good example of someone that I think that impacts a good thing in my life, a good way of thinking, a good way of portraying. Like I love seeing like how she dresses and some of the things I'm like, wow, like that's so elegant, that's so pretty. Like I should like mimic that style. Another really good example for my, me personally is like Ariana Grande. Like I love, Marilyn and I both love Ariana Grande, and
she don't look like us.
She don't look like us, no, but I do love seeing like her interviews. Like sometimes on TikTok, like I will sit and just watch like how she answers these questions and like the way almost 90% of the time all her negativity is always like responded to in such a polite and like light shining way. And so like she is someone that, in my opinion, because I know there's some haters out here with Ariana Grande, like I think she just does a beautiful job on like what she brings to social media, the awareness and the lessons that we take from her. And so I just thought this would be a fun and good reflection question to think about. because again, it consumes our life so much that it's so important to take note of like who we follow, why we follow, and what do they bring? What impact do they bring to our life? Mm-hmm. Because I would say a lot of the times we just follow because it's like what's trending, and sometimes these people are not good people. Like, I don't know, Marilyn, did you ever know about Shadi Bay? That girl, Shadi Bay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. She's like a perfect example. And I don't want to talk a lot of hate because I'm not like a hateful person. But she's like an example where like everyone was on board because she was like
what happened?
Promoting like plus size and like confidence and like she was funny and stuff. And even me, like I was like, oh, let me follow her. Like she's fun. And then like as time progressed, she's like downfalling now. Like she's just not, because we end up finding out that she's like super irresponsible, like her money, like even there's this one video that just came out where there was a lady who was cleaning her room in the hotel and like her dog was in a cage and like it left there for like hours probably. And the room itself was like a mess. Like you're talking like this poor housekeeper took like 2 hours or 3 hours to clean it because it was like food like on the everywhere. The like
what the hell?
Just bad. So point is like that's an example of like damn, like we really made someone.
What the?
We were consuming this media and like making her like famous.
Giving that type of person money
for like someone that's is not really like grateful and not really someone who like takes care of her like self or her dog and just like not good things. But I'm not gonna like join a hate train or anything here. But point is, that is my response to this question. I think I follow good circle of women who influence me, who don't look like me, but luckily don't make me like necessarily put myself down, just make myself be like, dang, like I want to dress like that, or let me like take an outlook in life like that. And I think I'm also going to work on re-seeing like who is it that I follow, what do they bring, and sometimes they're not even influencers, like sometimes it can just be your own circle of friends or like a high school friend or someone you just met once at a party or something. Like what do they bring? Like are they just posting things that are like you're just kind of like, oh my gosh, not again, or oh that's so toxic? Then it's like maybe it's time to unfollow and like let go. But yeah, that is kind of like my wrap up of this question and how I see social media and the importance of that and who we follow like in our lives.
So I'm going to repeat the question. I love that Jazmine brought this question up because I don't think we've ever actually really talked about this before. So it says, does the media that you consume have representation of people who look like you or are in a similar position to you? How do you think that impacts your outlook on life? So I think that when it says media, she talks about like Instagram and stuff. I will say Instagram, I don't follow many influencers on Instagram. It's mostly like my friends, but the influencers I do follow, it's always related to podcasts. And I watch their YouTube. Like it's like people who like I've known for a long time. And so do they look like me? No, actually. I actually don't have any, if I had a like an influence, I don't have any Latina influencers that I look up to. Honestly, like put me on, like comment down below if you have any. But like, I don't think we have good representations as Latinas. I think it's always about hot Cheetos. It's always about like stupid things. Like show me shit that actually matters. Like, I don't know. So I just haven't found my Latina influencers yet. But so, I mean, I have Jazmine on Instagram, I guess. But that's what I'm saying. It's like mostly like friends that I see. And so I mostly go on Instagram for reels, like funny stuff. Like I sent her boyfriend funny stuff. And my boyfriend, but he doesn't even check it. That's what sucks because my boyfriend doesn't use Instagram. We talked about that. He's the 10%. Yeah, he doesn't use it. Anyways, but when I said media, I wanted to touch on podcasts and YouTube because I think that's what I was like looking for. Because if it's people who I look towards for inspo or just people that entertain me constantly, I will say I got put on to this new podcast called Two Idiot Girls. They're both Samoan women Love them. Super funny. I feel like I go to them because although they're not Latina, they grew up in the OC area, I believe. So they actually know Spanish, and they actually were talking about how many people like thought that they were Latina and stuff like that. So they feel like my type of people, like very funny, very, outgoing. And then I also listen to Unsolicited Podcasts, which that one triggers like kind of like me thinking about life. And then I listen to Les Brown, who motivates me. So I don't think anybody is where like I am at, but like, for instance, I listen to a lot of Les Brown or Joel Osteen where they make me motivated to better myself. And so I told you guys that I'm really trying to stay off my phone. Haven't done a good job of it. But as of like literally this past like few weeks, I was like, well, instead of me like going on Reels, because although that's super entertaining, I'm like, let me listen to these podcasts and clean my house or organize this or, do something while consuming media, just because I feel like that's when it gets bad, is when you're just mindlessly scrolling and it stops you from doing what you need to do, whether it be working out, going for a walk by yourself, or like cleaning the house. And so for the media, I am trying to consume it. Since I obviously have an addiction, I am trying to consume it in a different way, which is just through my ears. So like audio and not so much like I have to hold it type of thing. So sadly, I don't have much representation, I will say. But I think representation matters. And I think that's why me and Jazmine are here, because we are forms of influencers, even though we're not influencers type of thing. But we do post a lot on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and all those things. So we are somewhat in that field or realm. And we do want to be representations of women in the LA area, of especially, as minority women, the things that we struggle with, and just women in general that just struggle. We talked about many things like body dysmorphia, like imposter syndrome. We've talked about so many things on this podcast. So it's not like I really look up to anybody, but I do look towards podcasts for motivation or just entertainment. So I guess that's how I'd answer the question. But put me on if you guys have anyone like that. Oh, this podcast is really good, because I'm on a podcast right now. So comment down below any podcasts that you love. But yeah, I love Two Idiot Girls, Unsolicited Advice, Pretty Basic Podcast. And those are my top 3, I will say. Yeah. Oh, and Joel Osteen. But yeah. What about you, Jazmine?
I love that. No, I just want to point out that you're so right. Like, I strictly went to social media.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what I consume the most.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so nice that you brought it like, well, I consume podcasts.
Yeah, I do.
And like YouTube. And so there are a variety of ways of media that we consume. Mm-hmm. And so maybe for some of you who do both, maybe, because there's people out there that do like everything, like maybe that's another thing to like sit down and reflect on, like, who do I watch on YouTube? Yeah. Like, what does it bring to me? What am I listening to? Like, what am I listening to? How is that impacting my life? Like, is kind of like what you said, like, okay, I'm not scrolling on TikTok, but am I just sitting and watching YouTube videos like for a long time? Like, is that impacting my life?
I feel like the thing is about Instagram is you get lost in it. I feel like if you sit down on your couch and put YouTube on the TV, you don't really get lost in it. I think after like 10 minutes, you're like,
You need to talk to Angel.
Oh,
because
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Never mind. Maybe there's YouTube people that could sit there.
Because YouTube is like TV. It's a movie.
No, like for show. TV, for me, I can't. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Unless it's a movie, I guess, but that I haven't seen. But I'm usually doing something.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to consume, because I feel like it is an addiction at this point. Yeah. Trying to consume it in a different way. Transform it a little bit.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think it's so cool that you brought like a different perspective to this question. And
we always do.
Yeah, like the media you consume, period, is so important. So take note of like what it is that you're consuming and the impact it has. And remember that oftentimes when you want to better yourself, it's more than just working out and eating good. It's also like what you're consuming on TV, on your phone, on like
the radio,
follow,
whatever.
The radio, the music, right? It all. Maybe that's another form of media. Like, what kind of music do you listen to? I forgot who I was talking to. I think it was one of my coworkers.
Yeah.
About how like some things that come out of this, like now it's like,
ew, nasty.
So dumb. Yeah, like there's no meaning to it. Ew. It just becomes viral because it has a good beat or because...
No, I can't.
You know, but it's like oftentimes they're just talking about like
nasty
sex
stuff
and like drugs. Yeah.
Nasty.
So...
I can't listen to it if it's too nasty. Like sometimes like Anthony he's the one that shows me these new songs. Like, okay, Kendrick fan over here, just disclaimer. But he was trying to show me that one song that Drake has with Sexy Red that he tried to flip the BBL Drizzy. And I said, turn this off. Like, I'm like, I don't consume trash. I don't. I'm like, this is trash. If you're listening to this, shame on you. Like, do better. There's better music. Oh my God. I was like, Anthony, turn it off. Turn it off. I'm like, I couldn't listen to it. It was so bad. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you bringing to the masses? It's nothing. It's nothing. You suck. I'm like, I can't. Oh my gosh, I can't. Like with music, I'm obviously very passionate about it. Yeah, I just can't, but it's so important. I feel like it's so funny. Jazmine, she knows that I love like girly pop music, like yes, and all that stuff. But it's so funny because we were driving. I think I sent her a funny reel about it. I forgot. Yeah, I don't even remember what it was about, but about how she didn't know that I listened to like rap. I listened to rap before like that girly pop stuff. And so
like rap, you guys. Like,
and
not
I'm rapping
like,
every word.
Sweetie, like no, like rap, like Ice Cube.
Oh
and like,
yeah, he's my favorite.
Things like that, yeah.
Yeah, like gangster rap is my favorite type of music. And so we were playing it when we were driving, and then she looked at me. She's like, "What the?"
Because you would not expect it. Like you look at Marilyn, and you're like,
Ariana Grande,
the heck
Sabrina
is she
Carpenter,
listening to Ice Cube and like Dr. Dre or I don't know,
Kendrick, Kanye, Rick Ross, Nipsey, G Pericchio, like that's my stuff.
That could not be me. Like I respect it.
It's funny because when I'm at the gym, you know how like everybody they're zoned in, they have their headphones. I would wonder what everybody has on because I bet nobody would literally think that I have Pirates on, Pirates by Rick Ross, blasting on my headphones. When they look at me, I don't think that they think that that's playing.
I'm dead.
I need to play Pirates for You. That's a good song. When Anthony, the Lord forgives and I don't only hustlers relate. Damn. When he showed me that song, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, that hit. And you guys know I suck at forgiveness. So that literally just gave into my like, I felt that. There was this other lyric on Hold Me Back. It's like, everything takes time, but it came fast. Standing in line, they want to hold me back. Oh my gosh. I'm like, that song.
Me. I'm like,
that song hit me to my core. But anyways, let's not get me on the rap tangent because there's so many good songs. Pirates, Rick Ross, look it up. I know he's not the best person, but I look aside. I do. I do. When Ariana Grande was having that like stuff and like she was like, I don't know, because we didn't know her side at that point. Yeah. She's like, I don't know if I can listen to her. I was like, I can. I was like, I don't care. A good song's a good song.
I'm dead.
I know. It's okay though. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Please comment down below your favorite form of media, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, or X now, YouTube, and your favorite person. Yeah, I'd love to know your favorite podcast. Please comment down below.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope this question kind of allowed you to reflect in different ways. Music,
put you on Rick Ross,
everything. I don't know. But yes, thank you so much. We love you. We appreciate you. Stay tuned for next week's episode with our very first special guest.
Yes.
And above all else,
we wish you love. Bye, friends.